Dum da dum dum.
What's up, YouTube? I figured it was about time for short barrel versus long barrel rematch. A question was raised in the comments why the barrel length. So I tested with this barrel, which is a 7 3/4 inch Widowmaker because I'm not running a fin on it, versus a 14-inch Lion Claw. This barrel flipped like crazy, and by flipped I mean my rounds would flip in the mag well and jam the bolt, and of course then you cannot fire. That is a misfire, that's a jam, a flip, if you will. So the question was raised, why did a barrel length make a difference? The reason is, this is a paintball launcher. Now, I don't doubt that MCS has done their homework. I mean, this is their launcher. They strictly said not to use a long barrel longer than, I think, 12 inches with FSR paint because of flips. So that has everything to do with dwell time. Dwell time is the amount of time there is air behind your projectile. So in a paintball setup, so with a paintball drive spring, essentially how that marker shows up at your door, it releases a predetermined amount of air down your barrel based on that spring or your velocity adjuster. Velocity adjuster is more for fine tuning. The springs are really to make those leaps and bounds. So picture this, paintball. Well, I keep calling it a drive spring. They call it a velocity spring, so I'll refer to it now as a velocity spring. Releases a certain amount of air for paintball, and in this case, I have a 14-inch barrel. Projectile, I don't even have a projectile here. Gets to about here and runs out of air to keep forcing the projectile down and out your barrel completely. What happens when it runs out of air? The compression stops, and that air wants to travel backwards into your marker, and essentially what it does is it blows on your mag well, flipping your rounds. Way to combat that is more dwell time. More dwell time needs a stronger velocity spring. So that projectile has exited the barrel before it runs out of air. That way the bolt is resetting. There's nothing blowing back into your breech area. That's about the simplest explanation I can give you of it. We have a new super duper military velocity spring, is what MCS calls it, installed in here. And I thought, let's put it through its paces now. So I'm gonna shoot a full mag, of course, with the short barrel, just to show that it shoots fine. I think I've demonstrated that enough now. Probably just making the video longer than it has to be by shooting another unnecessary mag, but all mags are good mags. It proves to me that this marker is reliable shooting shape projectiles. So that's where we're gonna start. Now, if you've been watching the videos, what I learned with this military spring now is I have to pre-cock the marker before I air it. And this is why. The hammer is striking the valve pin. It is depressing the valve pin to a point where the air pressure when I'm charging this isn't enough to overcome and push that pin closed. So I have to charge it. Same 3.2 gram kinetics I've been shooting, shaped. I don't think I should chrono. Should I chrono? I'll chrono 1. Why not? Seems like it's warming up a little bit, huh? It's actually a lot colder in the garage these days. Let me see if I get an angle on that. I really need to work on the trap. I had some questions on the trap just recently, actually. Somebody's using the ballistic nylon like me and shooting light projectiles like I am right now, and they ricochet. Originally I cut slats in this, like meat curtains. Works really well for light projectiles, but makes a hell of a mess when you start shooting heavies. And ballistic nylon is not good for your pets. So all those little threads that stick to your socks and stuff, just be very careful, guys. Coming from a pet house here, yeah, they be pooping. They be pooping strings. So I'll just get up a little bit more. Make it look really awkward. That didn't help, did it? That stutter means I'm empty. That stutter is also something I need to work on, to tinker with, if you will. That stutter is a free air, so the bolt's free airing, and the valve spring isn't just, it's not strong enough to just slam that valve shut, so the hammer kind of, you know what I mean? Yeah, so, well, let's, we'll throw the 14-inch on there and see, can I shoot a whole mag of shaped projectiles? 14-inch, 0.687 smooth bore lion claw barrel. Kind of just re-fluffed my trap there. I think it was Joe Reel that said, you know, he just swaps his ballistic nylon for a single fold. You know, it is pretty easy to do. Like, I'm literally flat out that lazy. I work like a dog. So changing my nylon ballistic configuration is like, it's killing me, guys. So let's just try it. That's a single fold. Same. Can we fire roll mag? We'll do a velocity check too. .334. .334. So the 14-inch is now producing the results it should have. Originally, when I tossed this barrel onto the paintball setup, I actually lost velocity. Oh, do we have a jam? I think we did. Pooh Bear on the last one. Well, it was much improved though, right? I'll be completely honest, guys. I've been following MCS's recommendations and using a shorter barrel, and I have yet to jam this. Well, I mean, last shot jam, could it just be operator error? Probably. But it did do a whole lot better. So I think we're gonna stuff 1100 PSI into this bad boy now and see what it will do. See ya.